Ghislaine, who was what? Her Epstein's girlfriend,
Madam,
whatever you want to call it, that helped out with all
they're actually
these
called
recruiting.
bottom girls.
Yeah, you were telling us earlier. So why don't you talk about that?
So shout out to Yako Booyans out there fighting sex trafficking. Learned something interesting this morning. So to give you guys a little bit of context, this particular lady, Maxwell, Maxwell, happened to be the bottom girl or the madam, the mistress for Jeffrey Epstein. She's been in hiding. Nobody has known where she's at. There was talks that she was in the south of France and stuff. She was hiding somewhere around the world. She was just arrested in, I think it was New Hampshire. She was arrested in New Hampshire. Nobody knows how she got there. I think that we could have that conversation of if she was in another country. Maybe Interpol scoops her up. They put her on a plane, make sure she touches down in New Hampshire and lets the CIA or the FBI take over. But she is the lady that would groom all of the young girls for Epstein. She was the one that would even help recruit all of the guys. So basically, she's known in the industry as a bottom girl, which basically is the buffer between Epstein and the police. She's the one that's out there doing the recruiting. As you pointed out earlier, she's probably more of a criminal than even Jeffrey Epstein is.
She's by far more recruiting because she is setting up the girls to tell them what to do before they go into the room. Here's what I want you. And then they're getting the 14-year-old girls to bring other friends and paying them $300 to recruit other girls that are coming to this place and then going through the mess. And, shout out to one of our girls that we work with in PHP. Her name is Marlene Gaitan. Marlene Del Toro Gaitan. First time I sit down with her in 2008, 2009, I said, Marlene, what are some of your goals in life? She was 22, 23 at that time. She says, Pat, one of my goals in life is to stop human trafficking. I said, you're 22 years old. Why human trafficking? Patrick, that's my goal. I want to stop that because it's not fair what they're doing. And you know how many times she talked about it? She's talked about, Mario, how many times has she talked about it?
Hundreds, thousands?
Always.
There's got to be a backstory.
There's got to be a backstory.
Yeah,
I don't know the
yeah.
backstory, but there's got to be a backstory to it, right? So when you hear these stories, if you've not been involved in it, or if you've not had somebody that's been involved in it, you don't really think about it as an issue until somebody does. When you watch your friend Yako's story, and his sister went through it, and she was missing for 8 years, and after they found her and how suicidal she was and how they had to work with that, it's pretty challenging. But here's what I will tell you. With this part. I'm going to take it a different direction. Over under, how many days is she going to be alive before we hear the report that she committed suicide? That's the real question. How long do you think, Kai? Do you think she's going to come out alive? Do you think she's going to be alive for a year, 6 months, 3 months, 6 weeks, 4 weeks? What do you think? Epstein went to jail. All of a sudden, he committed a...
And Pat, everybody knew he was going to commit suicide before he committed suicide.
But this is bigger, though. This is bigger, though, because...
This is bigger than Epstein.
No, this is scarier than Epstein because she comes from a family where her family is... Her dad is actually rich and well-known, and she's kind of like, listen, man, I don't know how I got myself into this. So meaning, Sammy talked to me, Sammy de Bucravano. Shout out to Sammy if he's watching this. Sammy's obviously been on Valuetainment before. I said, listen, here's what happened to Epstein, and you've been at the same place that he's been at. I said, what is the likelihood of being able to hang yourself and commit suicide? He says, I'm telling you, it's not possible. It's not possible. I've been at that place. I know where he's at. It's not possible. How does he commit suicide? It's not. This is coming from Sammy. If you've not watched the video, you got to see Sammy's perspective on this. So now Maxwell, goes out. Now the names that came out, I don't know if you saw the Prince Andrew interview that was on about 7 months ago. If you watch the interview, you'll see he's nervous. And you see the pictures and all that stuff. Well, that's Photoshop. Well, that's this. Photoshop, people know how to look at pictures to see if it's Photoshop or not.
Easy.
It's very easy to do that, right? So then you have other big names coming up. Obviously, Clinton's involved in this, okay? That name's come up many, many times. She was at Chelsea Clinton's wedding.
Yeah, Kai, if you could pull that up. And let me also
What other names came up?
Trump's conversations come up with him, Melania, and Maxwell and Epstein having a picture right next to each other. That's her right there at Chelsea's.
She's at Chelsea's wedding right there. Now, I want to look. There's all these people on the left that are saying, well, there's a picture of Epstein and Trump together. Pat, perfect. Okay. Pat, so we both have fairly large public followings. Okay.
Sure.
Few million each. All right. When we go out to parties, how many people have you taken pictures with like that
Countless.
I mean, just
Countless.
a ridiculous number of
Yes.
which is why whether they're left or right, I always say it doesn't matter who you've taken a picture with, because when you have a high public profile, this is obviously at a party, everyone's looking at Trump. They're not looking at Epstein, right? This guy over here is looking just mesmerized at Trump, like, oh my God, that's Trump there, okay? So they take a picture together. Everyone on the left wants to use this picture to say, oh, they're best friends, blah, blah, blah. Trump doesn't even really know Epstein. In fact, when he gets to know him, Trump was the only one that cooperated with the FBI and went and said, yo, this dude's doing some bad stuff. This is on record. But
when was that?
I don't know, like 2005
So you're saying that
or
Epstein
so.
and
Okay,
Trump-
15 years ago.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Epstein and Trump were not friends? They didn't know each other?
So he has publicly made a comment like, yeah, he's a great guy, he's fun to hang around, et cetera,
And
et
he
cetera.
even likes the younger girls just like me, or something like that.
He has made that comment.
Okay, look. But you don't see Trump inviting his madam to their flippin' wedding. Like, there's a huge difference between taking a picture with somebody and inviting somebody to the wedding.
Who
Period.
else is on this list, Kai, by the way? Keep going up. Keep scrolling up. Yeah, keep going up. Let's see who else. Okay, you got, make it a little bigger. Make it a little bigger. Zoom in a little bit. All right. Okay, keep going up slowly.
Just to give a little context for the listeners out there.
Harvey Weinstein, which makes sense.
So just to give some context.
That's the Koch brothers, by the way.
One of the things that Epstein was doing was allegedly he was making tapes of these people with underage
Rose.
girls,
Yeah.
and then he was blackmailing them. So I think that's important context for some of the people that don't understand the totality of the story, is that Epstein was getting these guys, luring them to Lolita Island, saying, look, here's all of these young, hot chicks that are underage, taking videos of them, and then you and I both know the minute that you have a video like that you don't want to get out, you'll vote however they want you to vote. You're now owned. Now Epstein or whoever controls Epstein is the puppet master.
Yeah, these pictures, I mean, again, the pictures don't tell the whole story. What will tell me the whole story is who has visited his island. That's what tells me the whole story. That's the one. I mean, you're talking about Gates. You're talking about Clinton.
Bill Clinton was
Bill
there
Clinton
several
had
times.
a big painting. Go to Bill Clinton's painting. Just type in the Epstein Clinton painting, which is, I don't know. Have you seen this painting before? Adam, have you seen this painting?
Let's see it.
When they looked at Epstein's house, this is the painting they found in the house. Go to images. This is the painting they found in his house. No joke. Click on the painting.
And he's wearing the infamous blue dress.
Make it bigger. It's a famous line used at that property. Make it bigger. There you go. All right, right there. That's a painting on the wall.
Okay.
It's a pretty weird painting to have of your friend on the wall. It's kind of like you having a painting of Mario on the wall with the, in a dress.
It's my favorite piece of art. It's my favorite piece of the ambiguous game. So I have a point here on Epstein because I haven't. I attempted to watch the Filthy Rich. I got through one episode.
Yeah.
I haven't really followed it. I don't know if this is a political story as much as it's just a story of the wealthy and the powerful. Okay, so he's listen. Let me tell you something. If this girl, Ghislaine Maxwell, we'll figure out how to say her name. She's in all these photos. She's not some random chick that happened to pop into a photo. She's with Jeffrey Epstein everywhere she goes. She's taking photos with Martha Stewart, with Naomi Campbell. She's in that rich and powerful world. Facts.
Yes.
So it's not a political thing for me. It's that when you become so in that world, entrenched in that rich and powerful scene, no one gives a shit if you're red or blue. No one cares. You're in the party. Welcome to the club.
What's your point?
My point is you're giving it, oh, she's at the Clinton wedding. She could have been at Republican events. She's at high profile events. She's at high profile, rich and powerful events. For me, it's not political.
A Clinton wedding is not something that you just magically get on the guest list.
My point is,
This
you
is not
obviously
sneaking
want to go
into-
political with it. She knows the Clintons, down with the Clintons. I'm just saying she's in that rich and powerful world. I'm not talking. It's all about the green
So-
at that point. It's not about red or blue at that point. It's all about green.
I will agree with you on this point. Is that
Ding, 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 ding. We got a winner. No, go.
So is that when you get in that rich and powerful world, it's funny how Republicans and Democrats can be best friends behind closed doors, and then they can go out and pretend. But look, here's the reality of politics, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to put the camera on me, I'm going to perfectly explain it to you for 1 second here. Here's politics. okay? Over here, you've got the Democrats. Over here, you even have some of the Republicans, and they're talking back and forth like this, all right? But in reality, if you were to zoom out, you're going to see it's one guy in the background that has a lot of money that has his hands up both of their butts, and he's making their mouths move. All right, this is the reality of the world that we live in. When it comes to the rich and the powerful, unfortunately, a lot of these guys that get into office are not as principled as some of the others are, and they're controlled because everyone wants what? Sex, money, and power. Right? And so once they get into office, all of a sudden, here comes the guy. There's even a joke in the lobby world, Pat. You can buy any congressman for a couple $100,000 because a lot of these guys have, they've been somewhat successful, but a lot of dummies get into Congress too. And you just go over, these are guys that are voting on the most powerful country in the world, the laws for the most powerful country, and you can buy them off by corporations, which is why we need to get back to a place to where we are able to cut off money and some of the money that flows in. I dare you, I challenge people to go look at how congressmen can still take money from corporations legally, and you're talking to a guy that was about to run for Congress. Because these guys get in Congress and they're not principled, or they hook up with an Epstein, and guess what? They stick their little pecker into something that they shouldn't, and guess what happens? Someone gets a photo of it or evidence, a DNA address, and now you own them.